made a lot of good shots.
I mean, Ariel's a great guard. She's really good at what she does. She gets her team going. She gets others involved, but at the same time, she obviously is really good at just scoring on all three levels. So when you get somebody like that on a heater, someone that's that good on that side of the basketball on a heater, it's very hard to kind of slow them down. That's every good player. So I don't think we could have threw anything at her. She still would have made those shots because she just got rocking and rolling. But I think as time went over, time went down. We still trusted our defense a little bit more, and kind of got a little bit more physical, and that kind of changed the game. But I mean, there's not much you could do when someone's like that when they're on a heater like that.
Thanks. Are you intentionally sitting there? Go ahead.
Asia, today was your fifth consecutive double-double. Talk about your mindset before the
Fifth consecutive 2010, tying the record held by Asia Wilson.
Hey.
I don't really have a mindset. I just got to get the job done, especially if it's just me out there. Kia normally takes my boards, so I leave that job to her. But when it's just me out there, I try everything I can to get more possessions for us, and just kind of be on that side of the basketball for my team. But I don't really have a knack for rebounding. That's not really my go-to. I like to score the basketball, but when it helps my teammates at all costs, I'm going to try to do that. So I'm just kind of going to the boards. I know teams are going to really start to box me out now, so I'm just going to prep myself for that physicality already.
listen, those rebound averages, that's otherwise.
Thank you. I just try.
Go ahead.
Hey guys, how you doing? Question for each of you. First, congrats on the win. To start with you, if my math is correct, you tied your season high with 72 points today. Looks like it came at a cost. How's your knee feeling?
Oh, that's good. It's just precautionary,
Fair. For someone who started most of her career, you've been obviously spending a lot of time off the bench. How have you been able to find that success in this new role for you on the basis?
Well, me as a person and a player, I'm just used to doing what a team needs me to do, regardless whether it's starting or coming off the bench. So it makes no difference whether it's either or. I'm gonna go out there and give 100%. And today I just felt good, body felt good. We ended up, like she said, we had to get our defense right. Once we got our defense right, our offense was moving around, so I was able to find some seams, get some players open, get myself open. So it was just a good day.
Thank you. Speaking of defense, Adrian, to you, minus 11 the first quarter, but plus 23 the rest of the way. What changed defensively? Something you said, something that Becky was doing. What changed for you guys those last 3 quarters?
Just our mindset, our want to. I feel like we just came out in a lull. I mean, we're coming off of a very, 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 very long road trip. So you kind of get in those moments, and especially around All-Star break, you don't want to check out. And I feel like sometimes we kind of gave into fatigue a little bit in the beginning. And when you have a great team like the Mystics that are on like a rock and roll and they're like that close, you can't let them get that because they're going to end up winning. Excuse me. So I think for us, we just really locked in on the defensive end. We just really kind of turned our minds on and understood that like we have to get tired of, and like Becky said, we have to get tired of digging out of holes because it's going to come a time where it's going to be 10 times harder to dig out of. So we just really locked in on the defensive end and knew that's how we can play out of that. That's how we go on the offensive side. It's just playing out of our defense.
Thank you.
Jordan?
Hey ladies, Jordan from Television Sports. Congrats on the win. My first question is for Asia. It's been an eventful week for you, becoming the all-time leading scorer for the Aces, taking home 2 awards, breaking all these records. I know at the end of the day, you all about winning for your team and playing another game, but have you just had time to sit down and reflect on everything you've accomplished so far, just this season alone?
Not at all. I'll do that in October. I don't really think about it because I feel like I just would get overwhelmed with just so much joy, obviously, because not just great things are happening to me, but like around the whole aura of our team is just starting to shift in a good space. And that's what I love the most. So that's where my focus is. I mean, the outside is great. I am truly blessed. Listen, I am one blessed woman, but now it's my turn to be a blessing to others. And so I kind of use this moment not to necessarily reflect on what I got going on, but more so diving into my teammates. I feel like they have brought me so much joy throughout this time of my life right now. So I don't get too overwhelmed, but I stay just consistent and in that space because my teammates got me. So I really just focus on that. I haven't really thought much about it. I'm probably gonna do a little Instagram dump just to get it out my photo album so I ain't gotta see it no more. But yeah, I mean, it's been good. It's been a blessing.
The best player ever.
Thank you. I was going to ask you a question too, like just how much to being like playing alongside Asia.
Oh, thank you for asking me that. Let me get the mic real quick. It's been the most craziest thing I've ever got to experience playing with a player, not just a player, but a person like Asia. She is a great teammate. She's a great person. She picks us all up. She's funny as heck. It's just been amazing, and I've been saying this all season, but I'm definitely grateful. And she's having a great season. I get to witness this. I get to be beside her while she's doing it, and yeah, you're amazing, man. I've been wanting to say that for a long time, but you're my teammate, so gotta keep it cool. But she's amazing, man. I had to say that.
I appreciate
Had to say that.
K-Dot?
Hey, Dot, you want him?
K-Dot.
Not like that. Hey, Becky. Sorry. Go ahead, K-Dot.
How you guys doing? Congratulations on the win, Asia. Another huge afternoon for you. It seems like with you being the cover athlete for NBA 2K25, you unleashed another BC coin or another attribute in playmaker. So how important has that attribute been to you this season? And along with Tip, how great it is for you to be on the receiving end of that newfound VC coin that's been attributed to Asia.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I enjoy adding to my game. I feel like that is the next level for me, is understanding the game on that type of level, seeing the game forward instead of like the flip. Becky put me in a situation where she wanted me to handle the ball a little bit today, so it kind of threw me off guard. But I love it. I love the challenge. I love to kind of pick the game apart in that aspect. And I just hope that I can make the same great passes and great reads that my teammates make for me to them. So I'm excited about just kind of this next level of play that Asia's kind of diving into. It's kind of early.
And I also want to let you know that Sharon James is extremely proud of you. I wanted to give you that.
James.
Absolutely.
Okay, sorry, yes.
All right, let's close out the players with Callie.
Sorry, this is for Asia or Becky. Asia, you mentioned when you sat down, this is like a full circle moment, sitting down with Tiffany. What stands out to you most about her since that she's joined the team?
Man, just Tiff's high energy. I feel like sometimes when we're in lulls and we bring Tiff in, it's just a shift of energy of like, no, y'all got to play at my pace. Y'all got to play at my speed, catch up. And that's what I love the most. Even competing against her, I love the spark that she would play with, because it made us on the defensive end react. And so to now have her in our locker room and on our side, it's been just a joy to be able to play alongside of her, because she gets me going. She gets me pumped up if I'm like, okay, I got to catch up with Tiff. Like, I got to stay on her pace. So I think that just the big in her, with even just coming off of the bench for us, and even the sparks that she had in the starting lineup, just that spark of energy and that dog mentality is something that you can't teach. It's something that you're born with, and she's been born with it, obviously gifted with it. And it makes us go. It really makes us go, and I can really appreciate that, because sometimes I'll be tired, but I'll be like, come on, Tiff, let's get into this.
Let's get into it.
All right, ladies, we'll let you go.
See
Callie,
you.
Callie, do you have another one for Coach?
Becky, hurry up. We got to go.
Who y'all telling?
Callie, if you're good, we'll go to Big Baby Jonathan. Maybe we won't. Jordan, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. So I wanted to ask you, though, with the mindset into the second half, it always seems like that third quarter, whether you're down or you're up slightly, you just always know how to turn it up on both ends of the floor. So this time, what was the mindset going into the second half of the game?
It was really just we got to hit a different gear, I think, in the second quarter. I mean, the first quarter, once again, we come out very lackadaisical and soft defensively. So we're going to try to obviously clean that up and come in with a better sense of urgency. We let Atkins get going early, and she just never really cooled down. She's a great player, and I think anytime you give great players confidence and space and let them get to their spots, it becomes a handful, and then everybody else starts to get involved, feeding off that one person's energy. And for us, we know defensively when we dig in, we become a tough customer. How we can do that from the very first jump ball, I got some ideas rolling around my head, so we'll see. I'm going to do them, and we'll see if it helps.
Callie, you have anything for Coach?
No, thank you.
All right, go ahead, Rob.
Hey, Becky, Rob Knox in next. What can you say about Asia that maybe hasn't been said, or what do you become impressed with every day? I know you say every day, and sometimes it's easy to take what she does for granted. I'm sure you don't, but what should people know about Asia that maybe just hasn't been out there that they don't know about her that makes her like really special beyond just the basketball?
I mean, I've kind of run out of adjectives
I
for
figured.
her. She is gifted, anointed, chosen, however you want to put it. She has it. And I think the biggest thing about Asia is that's always impressed me is she's always the same Asia. It doesn't matter if she scores 10 points or 50 points. Asia comes in the same every day, works hard, is probably the most, I don't know, she's just a very secure person in who she is, what her purpose is, the direction that she's going, and how she wants to walk her journey. She's very intentional. She's intentional about bringing others with her. She's intentional about how she speaks and interacts with her teammates. She's like the chosen one. I don't know how else to put it.
Well, thank you. That was perfect.
Becky, so before you came in, Tiffany and Asia talked about how close they are as teammates. I wanted you to talk about being around this extraordinary group of women. What does it mean to coach them, and also being the massive greatness around them?
Well, we talk about culture a lot, and I think the biggest thing, there's so many things that I appreciate about them collectively as a group, but it kind of starts individually. It's like you can start with the individual. They're all very, first of all, professionals. I never have to get on them to go work out or to be about the, showing up at the gym. Like they just do all the little things right. They take care of their bodies. They're not out, all hours of the night. They're pros, and they have a professional approach to them. So it kind of starts with the individual, but I always tell them, you can't have good culture and bad character. And so we really look into people's character and what kind of person that they are before we add them into the group. And it's something I'm super protective over because I think it's kind of their superpower is the way that they care about each other. Not all teams are like that. It's not absolutely necessary to win a championship, but like I told them, it sure does help. It sure makes it a lot funner when you like the person next to you. Because we've seen greatness, whether it's on the men's side or the women's side, where they've won championships, but they didn't necessarily like each other. And, I just think it creates something really magical when you got a character. Because at the end of the day, this is who you're going to war with. You're going to work with them every day. You spend hundreds and hundreds of hours with each other. And at the end of the day, basketball is basketball. And I think you have to really enjoy who you're walking it out with.
Yeah. Thank you.
Last one.
Coach, Matt Coach from Insider, how are you?
Good.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Felt like early on the team was getting stuck on screens, allowing some of that dribble penetration from the Mystics, but then you made those adjustments. With today's win, your team is, I believe, tied for second in road wins in the league this season.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about this team? Is it that chemistry, that culture that you're talking about that has allowed your team to make those adjustments on the road? What is it that makes this team so special to make those adjustments?
I mean, I feel like the adjustment we made fairly quickly. I mean, they knew we were ready, so they started slipping out screens. Well, then we lost some of our physicality with our switching, and you can't lose your physicality no matter what. You can't lose your physicality. And once we kind of figured out, how they were attacking our defensive scheme, we then made the adjustment. With that being said, at the end of the day, that the effort and that always has to be there. And I called a quick timeout. We had a quick chat about the effort and physicality, and typically they respond very well. we're still a work in progress. I still think there's so many things, that we can get better at and improve on. But this group is battle tested together. They know how to dig out of a hole. Now, I would like to not be in the hole to begin with, but they do have a resilient spirit about them.
All right, let's close it out with Callie.
Just one brief one on Chelsea. It's that fall that she took in the third. She came back and she scored. It seemed like she was fine, but are you gonna have to monitor her at all going forward? Or does it seem like she'll be good to go?
No, she's fine. She's fine.
Thanks a lot, Coach.